everyone, my name is Emilani Nababan, and you can call me Emil. I am one of the MBA students from IPMI International Business School. Today, I am going to share with you this video as one of our individual assignment for the subject of corporate finance. It is about the mind mapping of all topics we have learned from the past 2 months. Stay tuned with me. Even it is a very short class for us for only 2 months, however, it is truly an interesting journey of learning for corporate finance. There are total of 10 weeks of sessions, and even since pandemic, there is no leeway of us to going through virtual learning. Still, it is a tremendous and engaging class for us. Our facilitator and lecturer is an expert on finance and investment, Prof. Roy Sembel. He has experience for more than 40 years balanced work experience in business and academia. The picture speaks for itself. Here the glimpse of corporate finance class we had through the photo collage we had. Let's move to the mind mapping and wish you all can learn something from this video. Welcome to the second page of my video. In the second page of video, I am going to share with you all the detailed activities of our corporate finance class together with our beloved lecturer and professor, Prof. Roy Sembel. We had many activities, and each activities was involving as single students individually and also we as a group. I will share with you some couple of activities that we have done together to help you figure out what is our core activities during the class. The class almost started by very famous motto or tagline from our professor, which is, the tagline is, it's okay to make mistake. For him, by doing mistake, we can learn something new, which is, I believe, every single of us are agree with this logo. And then after that, we did some couple activities such as investment simulations. We also did IPO event analysis, book review, and also movie review. Here you can see the detail of our activities. Since the class method are student-centered approach, the class activities are involving every single student to actively participate in the class. From movie review, each of us are required to watch a Hollywood movie where we can learn the analogy of investment in the real life. Investment simulations game. We did an investment simulations. We monitored the stocks of our chosen company in a weekly basis. And finally, I am proud to tell you that my group, the first group, is the winner. We are able to generate return higher than the average market. There's also a book review from the world-class investor opinion leader, such as Benjamin Graham, Warren Buffett, and William O'Neill. And then the last is IPO event analysis. We learned from this IPO event analysis about the recent IPO company in Indonesia, which in this case, our group chose Cimory Company. Let us move to the core activities of our class, which is mind mapping of corporate finance. First chapter is financial management. Basically, it is an orchestration, internal and external financial resources. What we learn, there are 4 key things according to the proper examples about financial management. Goal of the financial management itself. 4 key things. Value creation. Created when a company is generating growth with 4 cornerstones of corporate finance. Core of value principles, conservation of value principle. Cannot create value by moving or rearranging claims on cash flows. Expectations treadmill principle. Keep up and manage market expectations. Best owner principles. Owner's capability as majority. Principles agent problem. There are 3 main problems of the principal aging problem found in the daily life. The 3 problems are 1. Conflict of interest, 2. Asymmetric informations, 3. Moral hazard. Solutions to the problems need to be done with the integrations
between each solutions. It can be solved with GCG, good corporate governance, which we are familiar with the tariff. T, transparency, providing relevant information for stakeholders. A, accountability, professional responsibility related to positions. R, responsibility, social and corporate responsibility. I, independency, each internal stakeholder not dominating nor intervening each other. Fairness, every individual will get the right after they do their obligations. We also learned from Professor Ramcharan, the book writer, about what the CEO wants you to know about 5 business essentials: cash, profit margin, velocity, growth, and customer focus. The second one, we learn about capital budgeting, which is a real example applications of time value of money. Capital budgeting. Definitions and application of time value of money, especially Rule 72, to count when our money will doable. Good company not always a good investment. See value versus price. Capital budgeting is used to estimate future cash flow. Net present value is better method to evaluate a project feasibility if compared to IRR, payback period, and profitability index. NPV, present value of all cash flow, similar to profitability index. Project acceptable if PI is more than 1, present value per initial investment. IRR, interest of the project, discount rate that makes the NPV 0. IRR has to be more than beta, time deposit. Payback period, only know when the payback will happen. Doesn't show the future project past that point. Doesn't negate time value of money and required rate of return. Let us move to the third chapter, which is about security analysis. In this chapter, we learn about investment fraud. It is the legality of investment, people and product, contract and the payment, and also all the mechanisms. In security analysis, we also learn about the 2 types of investor. The first one is the passive investor, where they are just follow the market, do investment in regularly basis, and also dollar cost average. While the active investor are doing a fundamental analysis. In a quantitative way and also qualitative way, they see the effect of domestic and global economic movement to the cash flow, the industry, and the company. They see and all seeking the information about industry sectors, whether they are rising or declining. They also follow the information about intrinsic value versus market price. They calculate the intrinsic value and compare it to the market. They buy a good company on a good price, especially when price is less than its value. And also, they seek the information about financial statement of the company, including balance sheets, cash flow, and also P&L. They analyze all the ratio of the company, such as liquidity ratio, solvency ratio, profitability ratio, activity, coverage ratio, and also market prospect ratio. They did a checking of healthiness of the company. They use the financial ratio analysis, and also they do a benchmarking with the industry peers. The decompositions with the DuPont analysis, which is ROE, that is based on the net profit margin multiplied by total asset turnover and the financial leverage. Moving forward from fundamental analysis, we also know about technical analysis, which is based on chart and historical data about the company. We learn to know the pattern of the company since the pattern tends to repeat. We adjust our investment horizons in a regular basis, such in hour, daily, or weekly basis. We also see the momentum, the trend, and also the gap. And the last one, we know also about the market or investor sentiment when people buy or sell according to the news or rumors about what they have heard. The last part is portfolio theory. We know about potential return, actual return, and also required return such IRR versus benchmarking using CAPM. The total risk equals to systematic risk plus unsystematic risk. With each extra diversifications, you will get closer to the market average. Thus, total risk of your portfolio will be closer to systematic risk. You can get systematic risk of a company by seeing its movement correlations to market movement. Beta equal to systematic risk of the companies divided by variance of the market. When beta below average, which is under 1, the company does not get significantly affected by market movement. If beta equal to 1, means that the company is significantly affected by market movement. And if beta above 1, above average, meaning that the company get very significantly affected by market movement. And the last one is expected return equals to risk-free plus expected market returns minus risk-free times beta. Now, let's move on to the fourth chapter when we learn about the capital structure, which is really about the long-term source of fund. Chapter 4, Capital Structure. It is include the discussions about long-term source of fund. Usually, the expected return of the cost of debt is lower than equity. Thus, using more equity is riskier. By using debt with lower cost of financings, the WACC will be lower. Using leverage also reduce tax because they reduce EBT by paying debt interest. We have to be careful of the risk of financial distress, which is more reduced value of the company by investor and supplier working out. Optimal debt ratio can be gotten from knowing the financial distress boundary. In this chapter also, we learn about Modigliani and Miller theory, which this theory mentions about however the capital structure of a company is portions, each chain will not affect the future value of the company, which is irrelevant. Which is wrong, because there is a transactions cost, taxes, information asymmetry, that will hinder the process and also affecting the future value of the company. Last but not least, Prof. Roy delivered a special topics with us, which is one of them, it is about fraud risk management. In a fraud management, we found that the triangles reflects the 3 reasons why people are doing fraud. What is that? The first reason is because they see there's opportunity. There are holes in the system. Second, rationalizations. They think they deserve for the money or they think it is something for a good purpose. And then the third one, because of the pressures. It can be financials or the work pressure itself. But we know as a management, we can do something to prevent fraud. How? Is how to build an employee ethics. Second, to establish a whistleblower mechanism at office. And then the third one, how to establish a protective security including hardware and systems. Another special topic is about corporate restructuring. We learn how to stop bleeding in the company and save the cash flow by doing restructuring. The restructuring can be in the scope of operations, asset, and also financial restructuring. Following corporate restructuring, we also learned briefly about the international finance, which includes the forex market and also inflation rate. And then the last one, we learn about dividend policies, how it affects the tax benefit, and also the note that by consistently giving dividends, it shows the consistent good performance of the company.
That's all the wrap up of our corporate finance class together with Prof. Roy Sambers. It's indeed more than just an interesting class. It's, for me, bringing a new knowledge, a new insight, and a new understandings about investments and about corporate finance. Prof. Roy keeps saying it's okay to make mistakes. Actually, by saying that, he's encouraging us to learn as many as possible the new things in our life. Even we fail, Even we did mistake. But by learning something new, we believe that we can be a better versions of ourselves and we can do something better for the futures. That's all from me. Hopefully, this video can give you something new to learn about.